Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Maryland Jockey Club at Laurel Park for a Saturday edition of Today at the Races. I'm Dan Illman along with Keith Fustel. Super card of racing this afternoon. It's a beautiful day. We've got two restricted stakes races celebrating two of Maryland's finest racehorses. Ben's Cat, of course, one of the more popular horses we've seen over the last 25 years or so, trained by the legendary Hall of Famer King T. Leatherberry, and the Jamila. Did a little research on Jamila, first ever Maryland-bred millionaire.
Wow, good stuff. You want to open up that jacket? Aren't you got a little pin, a King Leatherberry Ben's Cat
long
pin?
Long live the King.
There it is. Long live the King. Gotta love that. Yeah, really good card on top. Got some three other than allowances, optional claim allowance for races. Man, there should be value galore. We were a little bit light on the value yesterday until very late in the card. Hope you went to the handicapping guide and caught that trip note, kind of a winner from William Humphrey with Brendano. A nice 23 and change. Rodman with Kings River got it done. As I lose the first race, that's okay. We got it straight, Dan. But Kings River got it done from that sustained 5-6 wide run. I didn't think he was going to get there. He got there. Carvelian Quest just got a little weary through that last eighth of a mile.
Still a chance to get the Laurel Park free handicapping guide. laurelpark.com/picks. Download, handicap along with us. It's going to be a great afternoon of racing. Let's take a look at our weather conditions right now with 64 minutes to post for race number one. The main track is fast. The turf is good. I wouldn't be surprised with the heat that's expected later today if this turf course is firm by stakes time.
Yeah, I would have thought it probably was really close yesterday. Yes, we've got some pretty substantial rainfall. They've done a phenomenal job on this turf course. So our whole crew and everybody involved in taking care of these courses have done a great job. It's not an easy job. You know, they don't get the credit that they deserve. But the opener, pick 5 time. It's challenging. I did a light ticket, though, today to get you started.
Race number 1, 1 mile on the turf. Fillies and mares 3 and up, which have started for a claiming price of $12.5 or less. In their last 3 starts, where the claiming price ranged 20 down to 16. Sheldon Russell takes the mount on the 6 Anoint. Take out the AEs, the 11 and the 12. As Keith referenced, this is the first leg of our 12% takeout early value pick 5. Just a great wager because of that low takeout. Keith, you're $16 ticket with a single and a final leg.
If you're not jumping in on these tickets today, shame on you. Shame on you. We're not friends with you anymore. No. It's that good of a card from a betting perspective. 2 deep here. I originally had 4 horses in here. I'm going to trim it down. The 2 and the 9. She is Whiskey White. Lilacs for Mike Pino tries to make it 2 in a row. Race 2 with the 2 and the 3. Reply. out of that race, out of the, Pimlico, the delay, the black-eyed Susan. Still ran credible after early trouble. We've got a video spotlight. I'm going to toss in the 3. Golden Sword as your value at 10-1 in race number 2. Race 3, another kind of, this is a head scratcher, 16 down the 12.5, the mile and 16th on the turf. Beaten claimers, take out the 9, the 12, the 14. I end up with 4, 6, 8, 11. One of these Phil Caps to run for me. I'll take it to the turf for the first time. Race 4 with a 1 and a 5. Conquer those who we can. Really like that horse in race number 4. And we're going to try a single in race 5. Some scratches in there. The Cakes Arrow is out. F35 is out. I think the scratch with Cakes Arrow kind of really moves up our top selection, 1 and award to 3. Going to hurt our price, unfortunately, because we were willing to take a shot against Cakes Arrow. It's a $16 early value pick 5. Again, 12% takeout. Play along today. Early, late, pick 4s. We've got it all for you here at Laurel Park.
You're going to go with the number 2. She Is Whiskey in the opener. I liked She Is Whiskey last time out off of her seasonal debut, off of a little bit of a layoff. This horse just exploded to win at odds on. And last time out chased White Lilacs, who had everything her own way on the lead. Are we going to see similar tactics here? Because there doesn't appear to be a ton of speed other than White Lilacs.
That's the million-dollar question. Can anybody go with her? Or, or will they try to go with White Lilacs? She Is Whiskey, I think, was just, I know they went slower, try to stay close enough, just fizzled, quarter pole home. I'm hoping some stranger says, let's go ahead and go and try to run with White Lilacs. I'm not going to give up completely on She Is Whiskey. I think today's going to be a little bit more of a tell of where she is. I think if she can get cover, she was kind of caught in between last time, which is not really the most comfortable of spots in these races. But I think if she can maybe inherit the rail, get to the rail and get covered up, maybe she can explode that last 3/16 of a mile.
I've always been a big fan of the number 6, Anoint, to make the rider Sheldon Russell. The last time Anoint was in for a tag, that was 4 starts back in 2023. Yeah. She doesn't race very often, but she sure looked good winning that day from off of the pace. And I think last time out, off a pretty extensive layoff, she was just in a little bit too tough against Life, Love, and Laughter. She didn't break well that day. She was 3 wide most of the way. But once she got down to the inside, she finished with a little bit of interest. Kerry Bryan's going to put the blinkers on. Maybe that gets Anoint into the race a little bit sooner, and that's, I think, very important because, again, White Lilacs could be loose.
You see this race a little bit like I do when I'm looking at the 5 and the 6. You have them together. They're coming off of races that maybe were a little bit better than what some of these others have faced recently. And an honest quest here going off. We've got a stat for Ricky Silliman. I can see her moving up, and I can see her as maybe one that goes ahead and tries to lay a little bit closer and stalk, because I think that speed is there.
And Anna's Quest came off a layoff last time out for Lynn Ashby. Second after a layoff between 6 months and a year. 3 for the last 11, 27%, big ROI, 489. And you're right, this horse was just in a little bit too tough last time out. She can be a little bit ornery, fractious behind the gate, but that was just a really tough race. And those fractions were very fast. She was relatively close. The winner, the big favorite, came from way out of it. And the 4th place finisher came back to place on a second level allowance with a 78 buyer. In Nana's Quest, I think, is tactical enough to get within striking range, get the jump on some of the closers, and is certainly a horse that's taking a little bit of money right now at 5-2 and must be respected. But the horse to catch and arguably beat is White Lilacs. We have a video spotlight.
Yeah, this is the race going back May 26th. Second time back in the Mike Pino barn. Had some success with this 6-year-old mare. She's really been tough when she gets to the front end, and she's gone faster on the front end before and gotten it done. This particular day, she was able to walk the dog 24-4, 50. Digs in late to prevail by 3/4 of the length. Maximo Madness, who we're going to see in here, is probably going to get led away at a okay price again, 11-1 on the morning line right now. I think she's going to be in that 8-10, 12-1 range when it's all said and done. Second time off the claim for Ferris Allen. Can she kind of pair it up?
I think Kyra Street's very, very interesting off the Lacey Gaudette claim. Lacey's barn's been heating up a little bit recently. This horse is off of the claim again. Wired last time out on dirt at Keeneland, going 7/8, a race that produced 2 next out winners, and 2 starts back at the fairgrounds on turf, a race that produced 2 next out winners. The 4th place horse coming back winning up here at Delaware with a 75 buyer. Ricky from the rail, this horse has shown some speed, so I wouldn't be surprised if Carlos Lopez has this horse maybe sitting a prime pocket trip.
I think that one definitely has to go up and get position, a stalking spot. I don't know if I'm going to see her make a run from too far back, but again, the road with a clean break for White Lilacs, it's going to go through her.
2, 9, 6, and 5 for Keith, 6, 5, 1, and 9 for me in the opener on a Super Saturday card at Laurel Park. Race number 2, 1 mile and a 16th on the main track. 3-year-old fillies, which has never won a race other than maiden, claiming or starter. Optional claiming tags 62 5 down to 50. Field of 6. This is the first leg of the first of 3 50-cent pick 4s on the afternoon, early, middle, and late. If you get knocked out of the pick 5, play the pick 4. If you don't get knocked out of the pick 5, play the pick 4. The prices have been good. This race goes through the number 2, Reply, who is stakes placed in the Weber City Miss and only her second lifetime start. And then they tried the Black-Eyed Susan last time out. We do have a video spotlight for Reply.
This is not the way you want to get things started in a race like that. They have a 45-minute delay or so, leading in with that big storm. And Reply, opening furlong, just wasn't kind to her.
It's just too much to ask, I think, in the third start. 45-minute delay, wet racetrack, and then you just get sort of bumped a little bit at the start. She's going to start making a run into this right now, and for a brief second, it looks like she's going to make a contending move. She's down on the inside. Now Shelton's going to get her, Irad's going to get her to the outside, and she comes with a little bit of a run, but consider the horses that she's in against in here as she swings to the outside. The winner of this race came back, ran second in the Delaware Oaks the other day with a 78 buyer. You saw she got bumped a little bit. Now she's got to drop to the rail. This is a great learning experience for Reply. I don't mind her cutting back to 1 mile and a 16th, and maybe with blinkers on, she can stay a little bit closer.
And you look, I mean, she was able to kind of overcome the grain of the racetrack at Colonial in her debut. You see who she beats there, Passage East. That's a horse that's been on a roll, has won 3 straight, including a handy win down at Churchill recently. Lasix back on. Lots of positives for Reply. Certainly the horse to beat at a short price for Brittany Russell in race number 2.
You're going to go with a little bit of a price, though. Number 3, Golden Sword. This horse exploded last time out when stretched out to 1 mile in an off-turf maiden race. I like that she was able to stay close to the pace, but boy, she really cruised clear. Yeah,
and we've tried to give you that visual with our short comment. Let's go to the video spotlight for Golden Sword. And only her second start, moving out off of that race at Pimlico over a muddy sealed surface. Stretched out, 1-turn mile, and just demolishes this group. And as you said, she kind of moved up well in hand. Now I will say, June 1, we have it maybe fair, I think, on our handicapping guide. I thought it was a slight lean to outside, but man, she rides a little bit of the wave here, but she just dominates this field. And the final time, 140. I know it was maybe a little bit lesser group, but only 1/5 off of Dirt Routers, the boys earlier in the card, maybe conditioned, but I thought all in all, this is a really, really good effort for Golden Sword, and she may have a little bit more positional speed than Reply. See if she can get the jump and see if she can fend that one off.
Oh, I agree. I think she's going to be close to the pace. Mischief in Motion is another horse that's shown some tactical speed. Mischief in Motion maybe underperformed last time out at Laurel, but I just thought that pace was a little bit quick. 23.84 for the first quarter, 23.51 for the second quarter, in a race where closers just seemed to do best. It was a one-race experiment with the blinkers. It didn't work out. Tromby's taken the blinkers off, and this horse ran okay off the layoff 2 starts back. Got up to late night call, couldn't seal the deal. I wonder if maybe she felt the effect of the layoff.
That could be it. But a horse that I'm going to use in the mix, and you are as well, is Rosie on the River, the 5. She's a 2-time winner. She's knocked on the door a lot of times. She's already hit the money 6 out of 9. I think she's just been against it from a flow standpoint. She may be against. She's going to need some help, and maybe this horse on the outside, 6, Clementine Hunter, a horse that we don't have in our top 4, but we want to touch upon her because you look at her breeding, she certainly could appreciate the route of ground.
Her dam was grade 1 placed, I believe, in the Alabama. She's a half to a horse named Carnival Colors, who was a stakes winner going long on the turf. She's by the grade into Mischief. She's got to show speed. You have to figure stretching out off that debut win. I know it came in slow time, but maybe she wasn't completely cranked up. Maybe she wasn't even geared to be a sprinter. You mentioned Rosie on the River, wired in a slow-paced race, and she just got pinched back very badly at the start last time out. She's an interesting horse. I wonder if she's already exposed after 9 starts facing some horses that might have more upside, but again, give her some pace. She'll come with a kick. The race goes through the 2 Reply, but I like where you're going. You're looking for a little price, a horse that maybe can get the jump on the chalk, turning for home in the 3 Golden Sword, 3-2-5-4 for Keith. 2-4-5-1 for me in the second half of our early daily double. Race number 3, mile and a 16th on the turf, claiming race. 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 2. 16 down to 12-5. Take out the 9 Silent Roar, the 12 Canoes, the 14 Bold Licorice. Return Fire will run today, the number 13. This is the first leg of our middle 50-cent pick 4 wager. This is a wide open race. This might be the toughest race on the card. I am going to have to spread in my early pick 5s, pick 4s, middle pick 4s, etc. But let's start things off with Dark Loot, your top selection in this race. Dark Loot last is going to try the turf in here, and I think there's enough pedigree.
There is. Turf-winning siblings, they're there. A turf-winning sib, I should say. The other sib ran okay, did not win, but I believe hit the board. Midnight Loot, 11% with the turf routers. Always liked them on the turf. Seemed like he'd be a little bit better percentage. You've got a very good turf rider, Ruiz. And I thought, all in all, last time out was an okay try at the 1-turn mile. Slightly against the grain of the racetrack early, but finished with enough interest. These horses have had a lot of shots to get through this condition. A horse like Fight No More Forever, who kind of comes in, you look at the buyer figures, looks like the one, but off of time. 1 for 22 turf routes off of plus 180-day layoff recently for the Boniface barn. So I got to go for a little bit better value. One of these fill caps I think is going to fire. I'm hoping both. I think Severn Run. The 8 is another horse to take a look at. By Hard Spine, 13% with the turf routers. Bottom side, 2-time turf-winning sprinter. Looking at the race, maybe the speed comes from the 2 from the inside from Mike the Bomb, but expect Severn Run to be forward. I think a stalking trip is in store for that runner.
Mortal Sin, the number 11. I'm not sure what I'm going to get from this guy. He's yet to win on turf from 11 tries. He ran okay on the grass on Halloween last year, but I thought the trip was there for him. He followed the winner's very live cover on the second turn. He eased out in the stretch. He was second best. He was a perfect trip winner at Penn National, shooting up the rail last time out. They're taking the blinkers off. They're putting the cheek pieces on. This horse ran in one of those point-to-point races on April the 5th. He was 4th going a mile and a half. So from a fitness standpoint, he should be ready to go. He's got to get close to the pace under Karamanos from this tough outside draw.
You want him somewhere within 4 or 5, I guess, by the time they leave the far turn, 3/8 of a mile to go. I think encouraging the 2-back try. You talked about that race on Halloween. Brady came back and has run well off the break and just missed with a 67 on this Laurel lawn last week. Anybody else?
Fight No More Forever. Let's talk about him because
4.
Kevin Boniface sent out Agent Kelly to win off a 6-month layoff recently. Fight No More Forever coming off of a similar layoff here. Got the right setup last time out. In-out closers trip behind a very fast pace, but that was a pretty decent group. That runner-up came back to run second for 40,000 with a 73 buyer.
That's exactly what I got noted, prime to go. One bite. Hunter Joe, you see in there in the mix, the last sip. Better company lines over the last couple turf starts for this horse. They lay off. It's a big, big question. The 1, Just for Giggles, first time Kieran ran very well last time. We've got a stat for the 1, Just for Giggles, and Kieran McGee.
Recently, Kieran with last out maiden winners, 4 for the last 12, 33%, $3.17 ROI. Kieran knows where to put these last out maiden winners, and maybe, just maybe, this horse has been waiting for turf all of his life. He did get a very fast pace to attack. He got to the outside. It took him a while to change leads. He just got up in the final stride. I'm not sure that race flow is there for him as he steps up in class. Does Homer Jones show a little bit more speed in here? We know he's got that positional ability. He's now going 3rd off the layoff, dropping for Trombi.
I think he lays close enough, within a couple lengths, leaving the far turn into the lane. It's the last about 70 yards. I just don't trust him. He'll be used underneath in Exactus.
So many different ways to go in here. Keith's going 6, 4, 11, and 8. I'm probably using all 4 of my top 4 in the multis. 11, 4, 1, and 5 in race number 3, a true skull buster of a handicapping challenge. Race number 4 is at 6 furlongs on the main track. 3-year-olds which never won a race, other maiden claiming or starter. Optional 62.5 down to 50 claiming price. Michael Sanchez takes the mount on the number 7 tip line. This is the first leg of our Chesapeake Pick 6 wager. It has a 20-cent minimum. If you pick the first place finisher in each of the final 6 races on our program and you're the only one to do so, you take down the entire jackpot. I want to start things off with your top pick in here because we have a video spotlight on the number 5. Conquer Those We Can. Coming off a little bit of a layoff for Brittany Russell, getting Lasix. This was a promising
There's the start. Right out of the gate, Dan. A little break to the outward, a bobble, and I even put graze the gate in the longer comment. I actually got it there in the short comment, but was able to recover. moves up into an okay flow, going 7/8 of a mile, and is kind of just poised 3 wide. Now, the leader here, Del Rey, who has since gone on, and now a 3-time winner with a top of 84, has proven to be a pretty good horse. She kind of gets away for Conquer those weekend, maybe right here to about from the quarter pole to the 3/16. We're going to see this Russell trainee just dig right back in doggedly to the wire, responds to the pressure, striding out, appreciating this distance. Now, is the 6 furlongs a little too sharp in return? I don't think it's going to be. I had time to mature. Late 6 going on, a forward work leading into this. I really, really, really like this horse today, hoping we can get close to 7-2, 3-1.
And again, this horse earned a 60 Beyer speed figure as a 2-year-old in November. So if you might look at it and say, oh, its Beyers are a bit light compared to those of the one in my memories, project improvement. That's 60 Beyers, pretty good for a 2-year-old for the 45 waiver. I think there's not a ton of pace in here. Maybe Tuned to the Moon will show a little bit of speed, maybe in my memories. I think Conquer Those We Can, if she breaks alertly, could sit a prime spot just off of the lead. Speaking of in my memories, she's the only 4-time winner in this field. Right. We have a trainer stat for Anthony Farrier. This barn's been going very well recently on dirt. June 2nd to June 17th, 37%, a 221 ROI. Farrier's done a very good job, he and his team, this horse managing with some foot issues. A nice effort, though, last time out. Very good trip Boca Chica gave this horse. Just found him behind a 3-ply pace stool, got to the outside, and drew away in the stretch. Curious to see what kind of trip we get from the rail here. Worth noting that she did show good speed from the rail in her seasonal debut. Maybe Boca will use those tactics here.
That's the key. Obviously, Boca Chica, good gate rider, can get him out, get in position, because when you really look at it, you don't want to let Tune to the Moon get away too easy up front. And she was jostled around the break, didn't lose much ground out of that race, and was up battling 3 deep. In my memories, was the beneficiary. I think she's going to go ahead and get very good position. If she breaks okay, I don't see her worse than a length or two out of it into the turn. I mean, she can be aggressively ridden enough to get the lead. She's shown that on occasion. And they have figured something out with her. They kind of dangled her in there for 30, for 20. She's moving right back in the right direction for Farrier.
I don't think Tuned to the Moon, though, should be scoffed at in this race by any means. She ran very well in her first 2 starts off the Joanne Schenkel claim. Schenkel won 2 races yesterday. Last time out, she was part of that pace dispute. She did a lot of the heavy lifting while In My Memory sat back and waited. Maybe this time around, she won't have to do as much work under Tyus Liapestina, and maybe she'll get the jump on some of these turning for home. Grayson's Girl is in this race, sort of the other Brittany Russell train runner. We have a trainer stat, of course, for Brittany. 3rd after layoffs between 180 to 365 days sprinting on dirt, 44%, a 332 ROI. She destroyed a field in her first start off the layoff. And last time out, again, she didn't break very well. That's been the problem and the theme. Step slow you had for the last race. You're absolutely right. Step slow for the race 2 starts back. She was able to overcome. 3 back in my trip notes, I have hopped at the start. She's got to get out of there better if the pace isn't fast.
And then last time out, you see that steady 2 times. She steadied at the 5/8 and again into the turn, into a race where there was no flow. Great Andre just walked the dog up front, opening quarter 24. I know there's no run. It's still sluggish, 47-2 for the half. When they were picking it up, she had just too much to make up.
I think she likes to be on the outside. She didn't break well in the Great Andre race. She seemed very uncomfortable when she was steadying in behind. Once she got to the outside, she started to make a run. Maybe that's going to be the plan for Toledo in here. Conquer Those We Can. Off the layoff for Keith, 5-1, 2-4. In my memories, she's likes to win races. Maybe she'll do it again. 1-4, 2-5 for me in race number 4. 4 down, 5 to go on a super card on a beautiful afternoon at Laurel Park. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with a late pick 5. Welcome back to Today at the Races. I'm Dan. He's Keith. 4 down, 5 to go. We're at the track, which means we couldn't be happier. We're in the greatest place on earth, and race number 5 is at 1 mile on the turf. And this is a super race. 3 and up. Non-winners of 3 other than. Optional claiming price, 55 down to 44. 2 big scratches. You take out a speed in Cake's Arrow. You take out a big closer in the 8 F35, and guess what? You still got several stakes caliber horses in this race. What a way to start out our second and final value pick 5. 12% low takeout. It's the best bet in racing. The value pick 5s at Laurel Park, and our friend and colleague Mackenzie Pfeiffer has a ticket for us.
All right, Fulminio to get you started. This is a horse that kind of would appreciate maybe just a little bit of give in the ground. We've seen some big races on a softer turf course from this Delacour trainee at 3, won an award. We're all over this one as well. 8-1 morning line. Going to unfortunately come down for Duarte. Race 6. Yeah, the Benz Cat. Big spread race here for Mackenzie Pfeiffer. 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9. Looks like favoritism. It could go between When I Get to Heaven, Determined Kingdom. I think, we'll see how much play. I think Tidewater's going to be okay value, but it's a race. I could see definitely why you want to spread in there. I'm going to key around a horse in there, and she's got it. That's the 6. Had to have. And race 7, a single with number 3 to keep this ticket fairly reasonable. Cadet Corps for trainer Kelly Breen. A good effort last time out at Delaware. Race 8, 2 deep in the Jamila Stakes. We're going to scratch the 3 Next Girl, the 7 Moonlit Kiss, and the 8 Juniper Juice. She's going to wind up with the 1 Alabreve and the 5 Bazarati. Finish things up for this late value pick 5, the 12% takeout with the 1, the 3, and the 8. Scratch the 9 in race number 9. That's a $30 ticket for Mackenzie Pfeiffer.
We're going to start things off with the 3, won an award. We both like this horse in this race. We both like this horse pretty strong. We have a video spotlight for won an award. This is the most recent effort, I believe, and this horse was just pushing the pace on the outside. I thought was ridden very confidently, turns into the stretch after being put on a hard chase. And all in all, considering it was the first start of the year against these kind of horses, a really good effort.
Yeah, it pretty much looked like a winner, I thought, coming up there to mid-stretch. And just a little flattening, maybe needed a race under its belt, but kept on well. I mean, reading some of your notes, you thought the horse went okay. I thought the horse went okay on the gallop. Back now, Duarte second after this kind of a layoff. Look at this, 180 to 365 days, 7 for the last 31, 23% strike rate with an ROI, let's just call it $4. I think that horse is going to move up, won an award off of that race with a scratch of Cake's Arrow. Would you rather see him on the lead or sitting just kind of like a little bit of a pocket trip?
I'd like to sit in the second flight or so, because I think with horses like Jamie Dreams and Regalo, they're going to probably make the pace. Forever Super and won an award might be in the sort of catbird seat sitting second, but won an award was in against such tough company. That Data Man, when he's right, is a graded stakes horse. The runner-up Atago came back, won the Cliffhanger at Monmouth with a 92 buyer speed figure. I'm really curious to see what we get from won an award. I think we'd agree, though, that the 9 Forever Super is simply the horse to beat, because this horse has banked a lot of money for Michael Trombetta, and although he's been the beaten favorite in his last 3 starts, he's been running against some really good competition. Q Otago, who beat him by a half length last time out, and then ran a 93 buyer, went second in the Monmouth Stakes. He's a hard hitter. He's got tactical speed. He's going to be probably a short price in here, but he deserves to be.
Topped out at a 95 over this turf course last year in the Prince George's County. And I think with the scratch of Cake's Arrow, I think it puts him in a position now. He's going to get a beautiful tracking spot. He'll be perched probably 2 or 3 wide down the backside into the far turn. Let's see if he brings the finish. Really good effort last time at Monmouth and back here at Laurel with Caramanos, Trombetta. Yeah, the 5. There's a horse going back and looking at this race for about a 4th or 5th time. Hard Spun Reason has every right to run a big race here. He's had some trouble. Fresh, he's run well fresh. I think he's a user at this kind of number.
Yeah, he's won off layoffs. You don't worry about Graham Motion off layoffs. And the last time he ran was a 4-horse field. Forever Super controlled it up front. He had no chance trying to rally from out of it. He's going to get a much kinder flow this time around. But won an award, I think, might be knocking on the door after that good effort off of the layoff. 3.594 for me, 3.952 for Keith. In race number 5, a stakes caliber allowance event. Race number 6 is the first of 2 stakes races on the afternoon. This is the $100,000 Ben's Cat for registered Maryland-bred sired and or Virginia-bred and Virginia Sire. Check out the 2, King Covey. We'll have some more scratches announced for you a little bit later on in the afternoon. Race number 6 is our Super High 5 race. And the Jackpot Super High 5 is a carryover of almost $22,000, a $1 minimum wager, a 15% takeout. You had to have him. We had been waiting to get him on turf.
Yeah.
He was washed off the turf last time out. We weren't sure. And to kick off our final 50-cent pick 4, we have a video spotlight for Had to Have Him.
I didn't see this coming. And, man, what a performance this was. And, if he kind of transitions this form to a course, to a surface I think he's a little bit better on, I think it could be over. But this was really good. Sitting around the turn with Toriyama, confident handling, I give it. And he's going to have to alter course off of heels here at the top of the stretch. This horse to the inside is going to he drifts in. The other one drifts out slightly. Look at this finish, Dan. I'll let you take it from here.
No, I mean, and this is just, I think, the maturity of turning into from a 3 to 4 over the winter as a new gelding. He just probably needed a break. He never really had one. Being gelded, he seemed a lot more relaxed and professional in this race. When you watch some of his turf races, he usually changes back to his left lead through the long stretch. He did everything correctly here. And Salzman, past 5 years, you came up with this really nice stat.
Yeah, something we've got off the race lens. Equal base, second time gelding. ROI 252 with a 29% strike rate. That's good enough for me. Yeah, he's got some ground to make up against a couple of these. They've beaten him in the past. I'm going to take a shot. He beats him today.
Tidewater's where I'm going to go. He just missed in this race last year for TJ Aguirre. I talked to TJ earlier this week, and he was surprised that Tidewater was on the lead in that race and pleasantly surprised that he ran so well on the lead. Now, this horse got a little far back last time out at Pimlico, going 5/8 of a mile. I thought he ran on well at the end of that race. One of the also-rans came back, won a second-level allowance with an 89 buyer. TJ sent out Toast to Coast to win at 10-1 here last week, so the barn is heating up. Third start off the layoff. This horse is pace adaptable. If there's not a lot of speed, he can stay close. If there is, he can come back and make one run. I've always liked this horse, and I think he's a bit underrated. Will
he stay or will he go? Let's go to the video because he was involved in that. We've got a slew of horses coming back from last year's Ben's Cat, and there you have it. Tidewater on the front end. Outside, When I Get to Heaven, coming in here for Nolan Ramsey. Probably could be a tepid favorite in here, but this is a really good horse race.
Certainly a good horse race, and the speed held up. Tidewater digging down deep. When I Get to Heaven was on top of him from the get-go. You've got great idea chasing from the pocket, maybe a little bit pace compromised. I mean, this racetrack just seemed to be a highway. They went really fast, 108 and change under the wire in the Ben's Cat. Tough beat for Tidewater, game win for When I Get to Heaven. Let's talk about When I Get to Heaven, because this is a horse that against Maryland-bred competition shows up every single time.
As you say, proven at the 6 furlong distance over this configuration. My question is, Tidewater, I think he's going to take a little bit further back. I don't know if I see him on the lead. I think a horse like Cinetic is going to go ahead and go. You've got SS Sinatra that's come in here who's showing some speed. Determined Kingdom is When I Get to Heaven.
No, I think Determined Kingdom's going.
Yeah, and Determined Kingdom's that horse. These two, I think they mix it up when they turn it for home. Let's see what happens. I think I'm going to lean a little bit for somebody just off the pace, and I think that's going to be Had to Have him. So in that video spotlight we just showed, was making a belated run after some early adversity.
The Determined Kingdom couldn't get close to the lead in that Jim McKay turf sprint last time out. Just got bumped at the start, I thought. For him, it kind of worked against him. He still ran on to be third behind a good horse in Whitty. In the Leatherberry off the layoff, I think he might have needed that race when Four Harps speed popped him. This is his third start back since they bought him for $190,000 at public auction. And I just think if we're going to see the real Determined Kingdom, the horse that looks so good winning 3 back with a 99 buyer speed figure, it might be today.
Yeah, this is a really, really good race, a rider's race. It's going to be very interesting from mid-turn to wire how things develop. Eileen Had to Have them. You're going to lean Tidewater. We both got some value for you in the Ben's Cat.
6.954 for Keith, 5.81 and 4 for me. We'll move right along to race number 7. Race number 7's at 1 mile and a 16th, and the races just stay full of quality. It's for 3 and up. It's a third-level allowance race with an optional claiming 55 down to 44. Field of 7. It stays intact. Let's start things off with our top pick in here. That is Inveigled. And Inveigled has been keeping some very good competition out of town.
One thing Inveigled's going to try to do is going to try to win at 2 turns, right? If I'm looking at this correctly, he hasn't, but he has been keeping very, very good company. And you need to look any further than last time out at Churchill Downs in that sloppy field service. And talk to us about those internals.
22-42 for the opening quarter, and then he never got a breather.
No.
22-76 the second quarter. And just consider this. The horse that he was battling with is no slouch. He came back to win his very next start with a 94 Beyer speed figure. That horse finished 8th. Inveigled finished 4th. He was still hanging around as the only part of the pace there at the wire. I still think a mile and a 16th is pushing it with this horse, but I don't see a ton of pace other than Ain't the Beer Cold. I think Toledo's going to have Inveigled outside off that horse. He'll get the jump on some quality closers, and we'll see if he can stay.
Yeah, I just think the flow is just going to be right, perfect for him. You don't want to take too short of a price on Inveigled. Capcom's a horse that interests me. I was hoping this market, or I'm hoping this market can kind of pick it back up a little bit. They had a little bit of a run. Things a little chilly of late. Troy, let's pick it back up. But Capcom, interesting. I think he's got enough positional speed to lay close enough. I don't know if I want him to just to go, but didn't get a fair chance last time out.
Just a disastrous start here. You described it perfectly. Pinballed and pinched back in a race where there wasn't really a ton of pace. Otello went to the front. I mean, this horse had been close to the pace in his prior 2 starts, and he ran very well. Here, he was completely taken out of his element. I would just draw a line through that performance. I like him cutting back to a mile and a 16th, and getting back to fast going is also going to help. This is such an advantageous draw with a short run into the first turn that I think Torrealba's going to settle in third, and we'll see if he's good enough.
Yeah, he took a lot of money in that race. I was a little surprised to see him bet down that low. He was lower than Be Better. Eliminated at the start. I'll give him another chance because I do think he's going to sneak away and give you some value here in race 7.
Will Cadet Corps get the right flow? Because I think this late runner needs flow, and he got it last time out at Delaware. It was a razor-sharp pace. 22-1, 45-2. This horse is saving ground at the back, got the perfect split in between horses, and got it done over another closer. Cadet Corps, though, is coming into this race in good form for Kelly Breen, but needs pace help.
Yeah, you got to love a horse like this. 13 for 37 lifetime, really thriving since he's been claimed and stretched out to the 2 turns for Breen. Kelly's just trying it. He hasn't had the best of luck with his dirt runners, trying to break that trend today here in race number 7.
And while Ain't the Beer Cold has not finished ahead of another horse in his last 5 races, I'm not going to hold my nose at him at all because I know what he can do when he's right. And he's another horse that I think is going to benefit from the layoff. It just seemed like he was crying out for a break. He's coming back with Lasix. He will stay the mile and a 16th if he gets a breather early. And I think he's going to take this race to Inveigled. And if they drop the anchor down the backstretch and the old Ain't the Beer Cold shows up, listen, he's going to be a price. And he's going to be giving you a thrill turning into the stretch.
This track played awfully quick yesterday. They were going out some blazing internal fractions. Ain't the Beer Cold, you're right, back on Lasix, freshened up. Do we see the Ain't the Beer Cold of old? I've always been a big fan of him. I'm pulling for him.
We'll see if Inveigled can get the 2 turns this afternoon. 7-1-3-5 for Keith, 7-4-3-6 for me. Stakes action, race number 8. This is at 6 furlongs on the turf. It's the $100,000 Jamila, our second 6 furlong turf sprint for restricted Maryland-bred sired, Virginia-bred sired performers. Take out the 3, take out the 7, take out the 8. It's the rematch from last year's Jamila. That was Alabrev over Hollywood Walk, over Basarati. We're going to start things out with Basarati, who looks like the speed again and came back firing at Pimlico.
Just go right to the video spotlight, or we can, whatever we want to do, we can go back to that race. It was really, really good. Basarati, stretching out to the 3/4, was able to get the lead. Turtle's pretty solid, 22-45 and some change. But this stretch run, when things kind of push comes to shove, just couldn't quite hold it down.
Hollywood Walk's going to make a run in the Larry Johnson colors now on the outside. Basarati crying out for this 6 furlong distance. She has such try. A la Brev, though, is now beginning to lengthen her stride. Hollywood Walk confronts Basarati. Basarati digs down deep. Here comes A la Brev over the top to get him. It was a thrilling edition of the Jamila. I'm expecting another thrilling edition of the Jamila. Maybe this time, though, Basarati can slow down the pace to her liking, and she sure looked good last time out at Pimlico. But as is the case with Inveigled earlier on, going a mile and a 16th, we do have to wonder, is 6 her best distance?
Sometimes horses just get to that point and they're like, no mas. But man, she was so tenacious last time out at Pimlico in the very one. Love that effort. Alla Brava, you talked about. Now, she had a race last year prior to this. She's coming in fresh. Does that affect her chances? I think it does.
Perhaps it does, and perhaps if the pace is slow, that really works against her. Right now, she's had Basarati's number. She beat her in this race. They faced off in the Panzeretta Stakes at the fairgrounds, and I thought Alla Breva ran better than Basarati again, and Alla Breva didn't have a great trip in that race either in the Panzeretta. She broke slow. She steadied on the turn. She had to get to the outside. The question, I think, is it's all about pace and trip for her. I really think, and we talked about this before we went on, that Hollywood Walk's very dangerous, second off the layoff after being pace compromised in New York.
That race was off time, off of a route. Lone Lick of Life got out there and was able to control things. When she's right, I think she's going to be sharp enough second time back to lay close enough. Gift of Gab's going to be interesting as well. These two look like the horses. If anybody are going to make that earlier move and put that pressure on Basarati, I think it's going to come from one of these two, the 2 or the 9. I give a little edge to Hollywood Walk. She could work just a perfect inside-out trip if Gift of Gab wants, be a little bit keen early and go up and supply that pressure. She could get the catbird seat.
I've always been a big fan of Cut from Class. She ran so well in the Big Dreyfus last summer, going a mile and an eighth. Maybe this distance is a little bit sharp for her, but she's another horse. Sneaky, underrated tactical speed, and once in a while, she pops a race good enough to be there. She'll be a price. I'll use her underneath.
Okay, Basarati. Let's see if she can get the 6 furlongs. Yeah, she's really game. I know one thing. She's not going to give up without a strong fight.
No way. 5-2-1-9 for Keith, 5-1-4-2 for me. We'll go to the finale. 5.5 furlongs. Maiden Claimer. Fillies and Mares 10 down to 8. Maryland bred claiming. Price of 12.5. Take out the 7. Take out the 9. We both have a similar opinion in here. It's Teddy's Lucky Girl. We have a trainer stat for Tim Keefe. Experienced maidens, first-time blinkers, limited but positive data. 30%, $3.16 ROI. To me, this horse is just all dirtied up.
Yeah, I thought the debut, I'm just going to toss out wide, bigger field, no interest whatsoever. Second time out, I thought she ran a little bit better, but she was taking some kickback into the turn down inside. She was not comfortable. Last time out, turf, that just wasn't her. She's from a family of nothing but winners, a slew of really, really good horses, Eastern Bay, John Jones, the list goes on, and some horses that have shown some speed. You said it. The blinkers are going on. That might be the move here. You've got a horse like Great Moon, who I think is off of that debut at Charlestown, 4.5, is going to supply plenty of speed, maybe Lorraine's way to the inside. But if Teddy's Lucky Girl is going to fire here today, she's going to be well within range by the time they hit the quarter pole.
Another horse going turf to dirt's the number 3, Third Tuesday. This horse ran okay, I guess, on dirt 2 starts back. I just didn't think she was very comfortable in between horses early. She ended up finishing okay behind the 2 favorites, both horses that came back to win, the winner earning a 50 buyer and a dime, non-winners at 2 life. So second off the layoff, getting back to her best surface, she's solid.
Yeah, she was, you're right, she had a little bit of an odd way of going around the track, a little high-headed maybe, and then really kind of, I thought she would level off a little bit better the last eighth of a mile, even with that trouble. I mean, I know she stumbled, she's steady, but she got circling. I expected just a little bit more punch, but the buyer figure certainly stacks up, and she looks like one of the few horses that can bring an honest finish at this level.
Tammy's Magic, the only time she ran on dirt, she was just overmatched. Margarita Days was something like 1-5 that day, and she wired the field. It was Tammy's Magic's first race off of a long layoff. The runner-up came back placed with a 49 buyer speed figure. She's just getting class relief, and there's another Tim Keefe horse getting blinkers for the first time, so that angle works. Experienced maidens with Tammy's Magic as well. I also think cutting back in distance helps. She showed speed last time out, but she was very eager.
Stat play and the drop, yes, trouble last time, a little rank. bank. Maybe they'll change some other things other than the blinkers as well. Great Moon.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this drop right off the bat. Maiden special weight. Oh, you say maybe it doesn't really. It might be a little bit of a sideways. I don't know. You're looking at the breeding there. Great Notion, Moon, Virginia, really nice mare. Later to the races, they're going to try to go ahead and go, I think, and grab this and take it start to finish.
4, 3, 6, 8 for both of us. And the finale at Laurel Park is just a great 9-race card.
Yeah.
2 stakes races, stakes quality allowances all over the place. Tough to find a best play, but you did it.
I did, and I was just so impressed with Had to Have Him's last race. I've got to go back. I mean, he did that on the dirt. I think he's a better horse on the turf, or at least he's shown to be. Maybe the gelding we want to be better on the dirt. But anyhow, this is a really good setup for him. I think he's going to have plenty of speed. He's got the right kind of rider in Forest Boys. I still think he's going to slip away at an okay price because he's got to make up some ground against some of these other rivals. Today, I think he can get it done. 8-1 on that morning line for the Salzman runner. Had to have him, and then we had the stat as well. It's been fine second time gelding.
Absolutely. I'm going to go with Anoint in race number 1. I've always been a fan of this veteran mare. I just think this class drop is what she's been asking for. Blinkers on, maybe a little bit closer to the pace. And I think that's important because there's not a lot of speed in this race. I'll go with Anoint as my best play in the opener. 22 minutes to post for said opener. The main track is fast. The turf is good. Callie Francois, Mackenzie Pfeiffer, Dave Rodman will take you through all of the action. And speaking of the voice of Maryland Racing, the great Dave Rodman, let's go up to the top of the stands for scratches and changes.
All right, good luck, everybody.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Laurel Park. Main track fast and the turf course rated good. 22 minutes to post time for the opener. 9 races on the card. Here's a look at your Laurel Park changes. The first race, number 6, Anoint. Jockey Sheldon Russell. Sheldon Russell on the 6, Anoint. Scratch alternates 11 and 12. Patty Cakes, Feiner's Fillets. No changes in the second race. Third race, scratch number 9, Silent Roar. Scratch number 12, Kunos. Scratch 14, Bold Licorice. Race 3. In the fourth, number 3, Nancy Mary, 2 over. Number 7, Tip Line. Jockey now Michael Sanchez. Weight 119. Weigh the apprentice allowance. Michael Sanchez on the 7. Fifth race. Number 4, Jamie Dreams. Jockey Gene Aguilar. Gene Aguilar on the 4, Jamie Dreams. 5, Hard Spun Reason. Corrected weight 123 pounds. Scratch 7, Cakes Arrow. Scratch the 8, F35. In the 6th, the Ben's Cat Stakes. Scratch number 2, King Covey. Number 3, Synetic 4 over. In the 7th race, all clear with no changes, race 7. 8th race, the Jamila Stakes. Scratch 3, Next Girl. Scratch 7, Moonlit Kiss. Scratch 8, Juniper Juice. 3, 7, 8, out of race 8. 9th race, number 1, Bella Cativa. Jockey Ginavello. Ginavello on the 1. Number 4, Teddy's Lucky Girl is 2 over. Scratch 7, Florina. Scratch 9, Spirit. And Truth. 20 minutes to post time. Main track fast. Turf goes good. Value pick 5s early and late. 12% takeout. Chesapeake pick 6. Starts in race 4. In the 6th race, Jackpot Super High 5 carryover. $21,942. Good luck this afternoon here at Laurel Park.
And welcome to a little bit of a super Saturday that we've got going on here at Laurel Park. Here for Maryland Racing in the Maryland Jockey Club. I'm Callie Francois. She's Mackenzie Pfeiffer. We are going to get started on this 9-race card that we have going on, and we're going to start things off with that low takeout, that early value pick 5. It's just one of the best bargains in the game, really. And Keith Fusel's got a $16 ticket. I love, very generous of him to just give a $16 ticket, and he kind of explains. He originally had 4 in this first leg, but he goes with She Is Whiskey, who bounced last time out after winning off the 2025 debut, with the projected speed of the White Lilacs for Pinot in the 9. Race number 2, he goes with the number 3 of Value at 10-1 a morning line on the number